Let me share my screen. All right, you guys can see that. Can you guys all see that yet? Perfecto. Let me move you guys up here. Move you here. There. And then let's go over here. All right, PB and J. P to the B to the J. Let's go. You ready? Let's go. It's music. Wow, it's party on this now.
All right. Good day. Good day. Welcome to. Sorry, I got my blanket on here. In the office. All right. Welcome to our.
Why does that do that?
Day of our advanced boot camp. Something that we went over a little bit in the first boot camp, but not very much. We're going to talk about it here a little bit about our pullback in jam. We'll talk about where that comes from, how you can have these secondary entries, because a lot of times the reason we're doing this advanced boot camp is a lot of people ask, I can't sit around for signals all day when I don't get signals and yada yada yada. There's lots of people here who are looking for kind of fast action. A lot of people who need to only have a certain amount of time to get up on the charts, who want to get up on the charts and find their position. And so what we want to do is we want to show them the ability to join these positions after maybe a signal comes. Okay, so we're going to do here. We are going to share the screen. Okay, so everybody here can see our beautiful kill shot, which is you had 35 TPs on these trades today. You didn't miss very many. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, but what we're going to talk about here are pullback entries. Okay, so what we're looking for is after we have a signal. We don't have any in here. All the signals have just been paying. Let's go earlier. Okay. We actually don't have any good pullbacks in those. Let's talk about here. Okay. Let's talk about here at this buy signal. Okay. So we're going to talk about what a pullback is. Okay. So a pullback is the natural cadence of the charts. Right, these EMAs, these lines that we talk about in basic boot camp. So the red one's the 20, the blue one's the 50, and the yellow one is the 238. These lines are moving averages. And what that means is they are essentially the average of these candles. Right? So this one is the average of the last 20, this one's the average of the last 50, and this is just a price line. Okay? This is just a price line that moves along with the chart showing you, that the average is moving up or the average is moving down. Okay? Okay? So a pullback is an entry that comes after the signal. So these entries are for people who maybe missed that signal. Right? Maybe you weren't up at 6, you got here at 6:20, 6:30. I might even find a better example of a pullback. Look at that volume. Let's see if there's something else from yesterday. Okay, these pullbacks we're looking for. Where's your head at? Okay, we're going to talk about how we find our opportunities to join them. All right, here we go. Here's a better one. Okay, so yeah, this was really good. What we're looking for when we're looking for a pullback entry is a pullback to the averages. Okay, so what we want to see, we'll use this example here is we want to see the market as it pushes away, right? You can see this is quite impulsive. It is also counter trend, right? So these are some of these positions that might come a bit counter. At this time, this was a downtrend, right? You can see this downtrend coming from the top. This was in a downtrend, right? So this was, pushing away, and this was counter trend, which wouldn't follow the basic rules of kill shot, right? Staying on trend, staying on, the POC behind us, 238 behind us. It had a bunch of those, but it didn't have the trend. And I'll tell you, the most important part of kill shot, and especially if you're going to scalp and have a higher probability, is to make sure you're on trend. But there are counter trend opportunities. Okay. And one thing that's super important here with these opportunities is you need to see the market push away from these EMAs, then pull back to them. Right? These are the averages. These are these price lines. These are the price averages. You want to see it pull back to it. Okay. So the first part you're going to get here in your pullback entry is a pullback. Okay. Is a pullback to the EMAs. Okay. This, we don't do that. Okay. Raise your head and okay, so the first thing we get is we get that pullback back to these EMAs, right? You can see it pushes away. We even get that signal, right? And then it pulls back. And something that's super important, and this is something that I do, and a lot of people will take pullbacks with a different example, right? Is I must have a pullback to the 50. It must get back to this 50 EMA, okay? It must get back to this 50 EMA. Otherwise, I don't like it. It hasn't pulled back enough, and sometimes it'll hit the 20, pop up, and then come back to the 50. Okay, so we can see that it must pull back to these EMAs. And the first thing I want to do is pull back to this 50, and it actually pulls all the way back below the 50 and then pushes back up, right? So the first thing happens. Our first thing happens in that pullback. We're like, okay, we're not going to get into the signal, right? Signal pushed up, and it did have a little bit of blue in it, but then it pulled back. Now it's pulled back to this thing, and I got this signal. I got back to the charts, I didn't quite get here in time, and then it pulled back to these EMAs. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, guys, seriously, stop it. Okay, we want to pull back to the EMAs. Okay, and pull back to the EMAs. So that's the first thing we want to do. Then we need to see an engulfing candle. Okay, we want to see an engulfing candle. Everybody here know what an engulfing candle is. When an engulfing candle is a candle that engulfs the previous candle in the other direction. So as you can see on the pullback, right, we have these red candles, right? You can see red candle here, red candle. It does that automatically, I swear. Okay, we have these pullback candles, right? We got all these red candles that pull back, and then we have our last one. Okay, you can see our last one right here. So we have our last red candle. If we want to pull back to join this signal, okay? So you want to make sure it pulls back to the EMAs. Something else I didn't put in there is that we also want to make sure that it's on signal. We don't want to take pullbacks against the signals. The signals are our best probability of outcome. Okay? Probability of outcome. Okay, our signals are our best probability of outcome. We need to make sure that it's on signal. But you understand what that means? Okay? That the pullback is on signal. We're trying to go this same direction as this signal, not against it. Pullbacks do not work and do not have long-term, strategy if we trade against these signals. These signals are our number one opportunity to win in this market. We're just finding secondary entries. Okay? Secondary entries, okay? Okay, the secondary entries are going to be off this signal. And we want to find our opportunity to join on this signal. Okay, so we want to make sure that we get an engulfing candle on this signal. That means that it had its pullback, okay? we had its pullback, and then we're engulfing the other direction. Okay, that means that we're still on this signal, and now an engulfing candle, as you can see, this previous sell candle. Okay, this previous sell candle is engulfed by this buy candle. Right? You can see they both have the same bottom, but it actually breaks the top of this sell candle and engulfs it the other direction. Okay? Engulfs it the other direction. Okay, so that is super important to tell you that the volume now, after pulling back, is now impulsively getting ready to move the same direction as this signal. Okay, it's getting ready to move the same direction as this signal. Okay, so we want to find our opportunity to join this signal after a pullback. So first thing is it has to pull back to these EMAs. Okay. Second thing is it must engulf the previous candle in the other direction. Okay, so this is a sell candle. And because we're trying to buy it, we want to see the chart engulf the candle, this candle engulf it, and know that the buyers are pushing that direction. Super important if you're reading candles. Now, one thing you guys are going to get in these advanced classes is that I was a naked forex trader in the beginning. All I did was listen to what the candles told me. That's all I did. I created this scanner to give everybody extra tools and be like you're trading on the charts with me. But is a this is a tell for me. This is when the market's telling me, saying, hey, you know what? I'm starting to get ready to go back up. Okay? I'm starting to get ready to go back up. This is what this is telling me. This is telling me this blue candle as it engulfs this. So there was sell volume in here, right? You got to think as you look at these candles, okay, is that there's volume here, right? This candle closed. It opened here, closed there. This is how much sell volume was in it. This candle opening and closing over top. So it took over this sell volume, right? There was sell volume in this candle, but there was more buy volume in here. So this engulf back up tells me that the potential of this thing to go the right direction is important. That is the second part of a pullback entry. So these are these pullback entries that I'm trying to show you in case you don't get here to every signal, right? So pulls back to this, okay, then engulfs this previous candle, okay, then it can happen in between as well. We'll go over another example, okay. So pushes up to here and breaks above. So this engulfs. Now that it engulfs, the next thing I'm doing is I'm looking for it to re-break the 20 EMA. Okay? Because what's usually going to happen is you'll get a pullback. We'll try and find that prime example for you. A pullback to the 50 and then the right direction. I'll try and find that example. Well, here's a really good example of it. We'll go over that one as well. This one's a little bit further. But, right, it comes and pulls back. And then it breaks this 20. Now, this, obviously, you can see this wick comes back down, right? Probably getting into that, I mean, you probably want to break and close, right? And you have to at least have your stop loss back behind this previous low. So you can see it's a little bit of a bigger stop loss than we'd like. And then you have lots of room to get kind of a 1-to-1 out of it. Okay, so the next part is it has to re-break the 20. Now, a lot of people don't wait for that. This will keep you out of some of these trades that might still continue against you, right? You're trying to take that buy signal and get back up on that buy signal, but if you don't wait for it to re-break that 20, okay, re-break that 20, then you can't get it in that right direction. So the next thing is you want it to break the 20. And the one thing is the 20 EMA, okay? And you can see that it does that here. That's when you would enter this trade. You want to make sure your stop loss is just back below this low, which it would have survived. And then once it starts to get moving, okay? Once it starts to get moving, we want to jam our stop loss. Now, we probably would have only got a few pips out of here. As it got up here, we probably would have jammed our stop loss, taken our stop and jam it up. Okay, right? You're going to see it finally breaks above here. You probably would have jammed as it broke that 238 and maybe you only got 10 pips out of it. Now I'm going to tell you guys, I'm showing you, you can hold on to these things, but your results aren't going to be that good because pullbacks very often turn into reversals, right? They pull back first and then they go into reversals. I'll show you a bit. This is a little bit of a better example, right? But you want all these things to happen, right? You want to see it come back to the 20, then break, come back to the 50, then break the 20, and then head up. And you want to, this is where the PB&J comes. After it breaks the 20 and after it gets up into a little bit of profit, we are going to jam our stop loss. These are not, okay? Okay, these are not fully tested. You know, you could get sometimes, and we had the market's been has so much volume in it here lately that you can sometimes not get many of these, but sometimes you can get like 40 of them in a day. And when that starts to happen, we're over trading, right? We want to make sure that's why in these rules that I'm going to show you, it pulls back to the 50. Okay. If you are taking pullback entries and you make sure that it comes back to the 50, you will have better pullback entries. Okay. You'll have better pullback entries. You can see here, you know, we'll show you guys here again. Nope. Thank you. Okay. We're just going to slide this over. Here's another pullback entry, right? So we're like, okay, there's lots, as you guys can see in this little zone here, as it pushed up and pulled back and pushed up and pulled back and pushed up and pulled back. There's this and these entries. There was lots of them, right? Pushed again here, pushed up here, and then pulled back to the 50. And then you're in it again. Then you could have jammed, got 10 out of it, pulled back again, pushed away, pulled back again. It was really fighting this volume coming around kind of the London close area. And you can see this one here, finally really good, right? Pulled back, wicked below the 50, pulled back up. This candle starts to go, it engulfs here, and this would have been a really good pullback entry, right? If you see it, right? You get all your check marks here, okay? Get all your check marks, right? Pulls back. It is pushed all the way back to where that signal was. It pulls back to the 50 like this, then pushes back up. What are you doing? Okay. Right? Pulls all the way back to, and what are you doing? Okay. Pulls back to here and then pushes back up. Right? Okay. So what would we wait for? Right? We're on signal. We're still on that buy signal. Okay. It pulls back to the 50. It actually hits it and wicks, which is even better because that shows you even this candle that hit the 50 has buy volume in it. And when you're going to get here is when we talk about this is you're going to get as you're paying attention to candles that are engulfing and as you're looking at candles that might wick, you know, you get a hammer candle here, right? You're going to get the ability to understand what these candles are doing, right? Wicked all the way down after all this volume, wicked all the way down, right? And then pushed back up to this space. Okay, so it wicked to the 50. So we got our first one. Let's just talk about these questions. We're on signal. We're on a buy signal, right? Pulls back to these EMAs. Okay, now we have to wait for the candle to engulf. This candle, pretty even. Did that candle quite engulf? No, but this one does. Now, do we get into it? This is a good question and a good conversation about pullbacks. Do we get into it when it closes all the way up here? This candle, we don't want to get in at the end of this candle. Right, as you can see, the end of this candle is literally going to be right at a previous rejection level where this thing went and fell out 100 pips. We don't want to enter here. We want to get into this thing, right? It pulled back, it broke the 20, it engulfed the candle. We want to get in it here as it's getting ready to engulf because this is a rejection level. And last time it hit this rejection level, it fell 100 pips. We don't want to be in this trade right there, right? On these bonus entries, right? On position. You don't want to be in there, right? We talked about sniper entries yesterday. We don't want to be in here. We want to be in here, right? Right as that candle engulfs. Okay, right as that candle engulfs, literally two candle TP, bam. right? Your stop loss is back here behind these EMAs. It's a 2 candle TP, and you're in. If this candle would have shot up, you would have moved your stop loss into a jam. You would have got 30 pips. It almost got to 50. You would have got 30 to 40 pips out of here by moving your stop loss up. Okay. Now these are these bonus entries. That's what this advanced class is about bonus entries to find on the chart after the signal. Okay. After what you are, looking for on these charts, right? Here's another beauty. And this is actually one of those advanced entries, right? If you guys are up and if you guys have done the basic boot camp on Killshot, would we have taken this signal? No, we wouldn't have, right? Because it doesn't give us all our ticks. It's actually on the wrong colored candle. It's actually starting to pull back as we get the triangle. Okay, so if we want to pull back, if we want to join this signal, we have to wait for something to happen to tell us, right? So let's use this as an example. This pullback, let's talk about when we actually would get into this thing. First, we wait for the EMAs, right? We wait for it to pull all the way back to that 50 EMA. It did it here. Now let's ask ourselves, do we get that? And does this candle get engulfed? And just remember, it doesn't have to be in one candle. It's nice when it's in one candle, but it can be in a couple candles. Does this candle get engulfed? No. So we shouldn't even have been in it on this move, right? This pullback, it does kind of give us that pullback and that push up, but it doesn't give us, right? It doesn't actually engulf this previous red candle. So this could actually just be a pullback to continue down, which it does slightly. Now we have this red candle after it pulls back again, and this candle fully engulfs it. Okay? Fully engulfs it. Okay? Okay? Fully engulfs this move. Okay? So as this candle engulfs, it's already broken the 20. Bam, we get into it here. Give me a second. Okay? As it fully engulfs, pushing this to the level, right? We can see that it fully engulfs, heading back up to the top, okay? And you can see you get this thing dropped in here, even 10 pips. There was 25 on the board. You could obviously hold it if you want, but these things can turn into reversals very easily, okay? So you can slide this up and protect it, okay? That's jamming your stop, right? Pulls all the way back, engulfs the candle, breaks the 20, in we go. We always, this is the pullback and jam. We always move our stop loss up into position, right? Probably would have taken us out at 10, maybe 15 pips. If we stayed at 10 pips here, we probably would have survived this when we got into it. 850, it would have wicked us out right there. So you got 10 pips out of it. But these are bonus pips. When you're not trading fully on the kill shot signals and the kill shot rules, these pullbacks are bonus entries. And that's what I'm going to show you guys here. We're going to go over the 238, the bonus entries at 238. One thing I always do with bonus entries that are off of signals is jam my stop loss. Because they don't have the same probability and same outcome as kill shot signals do. Okay? And as you can see, these pullbacks can happen a lot. Right? It can happen lots. So lately, because the volume has been so heavy, these pullbacks haven't actually been coming all that much. And so we actually, one just happened here. Let's go take a look at this one. So, okay. Right? You're in your signal, right? Pulls back in between these EMAs. You do want to see this, right? Okay. You do want to see this. You would have to get into it at break of this 20. So this pullback actually isn't good. Why is this pullback not good? Because it doesn't actually engulf till right here with only, and this will combine with what you learned yesterday, right? This will combine with what you learned yesterday. Do we get into a trade right here when there is literally 5 pips to a bounce level? No. This is not a sniper entry. All your parameters are backwards, right? Like getting into it here, right? It's not going to be the same as getting it into it here. Now, but on a pullback entry, okay, didn't hit the 50. It did get in between the EMAs, which I'm okay with as long as it gets into the EMAs because the rebreak of the 20 is going to help us. But it did not have the ability to engulf this buy candle until here. And now at the end of this candle, you're asking, with this, there's 11 pip gap between this bounce level that it's bounced out of a couple times. So that's just not a good sniper entry, right? So when we're looking for pullbacks and those extra entries, we want to wait for the market to push away from the EMAs, right? Push away from them, right? Even this trade doesn't look very good, right? But even this trade, if you got into it at the break of this 20, there was a few pips in it. You would have had to jam quickly, right? But there was a few pips in that, and you would have got a few pips out of it, or you jammed it when this thing wicked above before it turned and reversed. You have to jam these. Okay, it does get in between, it pushes up and engulfs. This would have been a hard trade to be in with with this up and down that's happening in the chart right now. But as you can see, there's all these opportunities and secondary opportunities to get into this market. And that's what we're going to show you, right? Sure, there was a pullback entry here, but you combine it with that sniper entry you were looking at yesterday. This is not a good trade, even though it looks like right now it's probably going to turn into an okay trade because it looks like it was going to pull back to the EMAs again and then engulfed here and is now back down to the bottom. We probably don't want to be in a sell right at this bounce level. Um, but yeah, those combining these things that you're going to see with the basics of kill shot is how going to take you to that advanced sort of level where you can get into different entries and get into different positions in the market that can pay. And so it doesn't always have to be on signal. And they are the best probabilities. They're the best trades. They're the best opportunity to get money out of the market is to take your signals. Okay, and if you did that today, you got paid here, you would have taken a loss there, you got paid here, you got paid here. This would have bounced around a little bit. There's only one good signal in there, and that's the second buy. Got paid here, would have got that, got paid there. So we're five for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're 5 for 7. Okay, so that will give you guys here some training here. Okay, this would be your pullback and jam. These are these secondary entries that you can find on the kill shot scanner to help you, move to that direction. Okay, super super important that you add these to your strategy. Everybody here should be using the basic kill shot rules. You can see the signals all paid today, right? Paid, 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 paid. You took a loss here, but they all paid, right? Staying that, but these are additional. You don't get in, and you miss the signal. You come, you're like, oh, I'm away from the signal. Let's wait to see if it pulls back, gives me a good entry. Those are the things to help you with patience. Because without rules, without what we're doing, you're not going to give yourself patience. We'll have a deeper conversation about patience here by the end of this training, because okay, these are all bonus. These are all bonus entries. These entries, I do not leave these entries open. I do not have as much faith in them as I do on signals. Okay, because signals provide better returns. Okay, so but these are bonus. This is the advanced stuff. This is the stuff where it's like, okay, I missed my signal. How do I pull this back? If you're brand new, go through the beginner boot camp on Killshot, get on the calls, and you'll get caught up. You'll get to a place where you can, you can use the scanner and make money off it, and then these are going to take you to that, as we say, next level and more advanced. One thing that's super important here is we have the basic stuff. You go learn all the basics, then you get to learn how to use the scanner, then you practice using the scanner, then it starts to work, and then you add these additional pieces so that you get even more out of it. Okay, so love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning for open. If not, we'll see you tomorrow at boot camp, same time. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right. So, what I want to do every single time, comment it. What I want to do is, because obviously gold is slightly different. Now, one thing I did clock on that session just then is, sometimes people will say, "Oh, I get into the trade and then it goes the opposite way," even though it's a trade signal. I've just realized how people are losing their trade sometimes, right? Because they see a trade come through, for example, yeah, and then the market will do the pullback, and then boom, they get out of the trade. Now, just to go into the kill shot settings very, very quickly, you have your EMA settings here. So, Bernadette, make sure that you have your EMAs set here. So you can see, you can't see anything. Oh, what? Why? I don't know why it does that every single time. Let's go back. Can you see it now? Yeah? Okay, cool. Right. So Bernadette, I saw you was putting some messages in the chat. So just make sure that you've gone to your kill shot settings up here, okay? And that your EMAs are here, that you've got them marked up here, okay? I think you can kind of change things, whatever. Here, I mean, I haven't really played around with the settings on Killshot, but just make sure that you've got your EMAs set at the top, because everybody should have their EMAs on here, okay? So as long as you've got that there, you don't need to add EMAs or anything like that, right? So I get it now, yeah? When somebody said to me, "Oh, I took a signal and for example, the market pulls back," right? Look, for example, that would have been a terrible, terrible signal, but we wouldn't have got into a buy there, would we? Why would we not get into a buy here, family? Can you tell me why we would not enter into that buy here? Exactly. So we've got this here, and look, where should this be? We're literally going against everything here. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So we would need that to be breaking up here for us to even remotely enter in to that as a trade. Okay. So it makes so much sense now how some people are not seeing the or maybe not quite understanding the pullbacks. I mean, look here, for example, this trade. Okay, we could have got into that trade, but then look, it pulls back up here, which is fine. Hang on, let's do that a little bit. It doesn't look like anything, does it? So you could have got into that particular trade, for example, right? And then it's almost pulling back here. Okay, it hits this level here, pulls down, hits this level here, pushes back up, hits this level again, comes down. You see, that's why it's so important. The way that we're currently trading, right, is we're using these levels to our advantage, right? So as he was kind of explaining these pullbacks, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but you know what? The way that we're trading, we're using these levels to our advantage. Of course, gold is slightly different. Now, this here would have been a perfect opportunity to enter in to a buy, right? This is behind us, okay? They've crossed right here, okay? They've literally crossed right here. We get the signal. We get in. Now we could have took that trade to this level here, waited for the pullback to come in, wait for it to bounce off of there, then we would have got back into the trade to around about here, right? Wait for the pullback, okay? And then look, we could have got back in this trade up here. I mean, we could have stayed in that trade, to be fair. We would have had a lot of pullbacks along the way, but we could have took a long position here, a nice long position, but in between that, we could be taking our strategy that we're using here. You see? Boom, boom. You see? Boom, boom, boom. So we ourselves could have taken one long position, but then multiple short positions just on this area here. Okay? Just for that, for example, because look, we know market is always going to pull back on us. We know that because otherwise, if this just went in a straight line, oh my gosh, everyone would be like rich. Yeah, we'd literally be rich, right? We'd be rich. Well, yeah, we'd be super rich, right? But we can't do that, okay? So we wait. We can take a long position, okay? Now the only thing is with the kill shot, for example, you wouldn't have necessarily known that market would have gone up here unless we did what? Unless we did, what would we need to do to see where market could potentially go? What do you think we would have needed to do to see that market could have gone up here? Look left. Yeah, perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Right? So yeah, so we could have took our long position, but then in between, family, we can take our little short positions up. Because as you're taking your short positions up, you're making, like, let's just say, you're trading like myself, right? And we take what from one, like, let's say we got in here, or we even got in here, because you know how I like to trade. So from 511, right, up to pulling up our stop, we come out at 5143, right? That's a solid bit of trading right there. Now just imagine it's about 150, let's say it's about 150 quid in that trade, right? I don't know exactly how much it would be, but I'm just saying, just think about it like that, right? Okay, or maybe a 200 trade, okay, depending on the lot size, right? There you go. We've just made that. We wait for the pullback, we get back in from here to here. Oh, look, there's another couple of 100 quid. Solid. Wait for the pullback, come back here, right? Oh, look. That's a solid move, right? That's a nice move. Let's say we got like 400 quid out of that one, right? There's 800 quid that we've just made from them trades. Then we wait, we get back in. Another 150, wait, get back in. Another 150, wait, get back in. You see how you can make your money on your long-term trades, of course. But do you see when you're compounding all of these little moves on an uptrend as well? Does that make sense? You see, I love to scalp. I love a scalp. I really do. Don't get me wrong. You guys know that I've stayed into some long trades before, but I love a good scalp, right? I love it. Okay. Now look, here we are again, back where we came down before. Okay. Oh, has market opened? has, hasn't it? Has it opened? It looks like it's very slow. Yeah, okay, cool. Right? But this would have been a terrible position. What are we looking at? You need to watch the recordings, Ron. You need to watch the recordings. Seriously. Um, because this is all I've been talking about, right? Anyway, look, why is that a terrible trade, guys? Why is this a terrible trade? I think I'd have cried if I'd have got into that there. Huh? This is a terrible, terrible trade. Can you see? No? Anyone? Yeah. Why is that a bad trade? It's a terrible trade. Okay. So you see, this trade came in, yeah, and it sunk, right? We do not buy when market is in an area like this. We have to wait for the break, remember? Yeah, we have to wait for the break. Now, yeah, so this one pulled back here, came back up, right? Now, yeah, fair play. If you had got in down here where the EMAs crossed, that would have been a solid trade. Solid trade. But that would have been a bad one. So if you didn't get in at the crossing of the EMAs, that would have been a bad, bad move. Because it came down, came back up. There was your pullback, came back up. It came all the way up here and then just dropped. So that would have been a bad, bad, bad trade. Okay. This one would have been a good one. Okay. You would have been able to take it to here, but then it did pull back. So this is why, family, it's important to know where these levels are. Okay. When you know where these levels are, family, you know exactly where market is going to ping pong in between. Just literally, right? Ping, pong, you see? Right? So that would have been a good position to take you down here to this level. So you see when you have these levels marked, guys, these here can become your TPs. These levels here can become your TPs, right? Let's say you are trading on the 15-minute, right? Use the 15-minute, use these as your TPs. Use it. Because then, therefore, you would have gone straight into that trade, boom, straight to TP, okay? So remember, use these as your TPs. And I think, I don't think you'd go wrong with that, right? Especially with the way that I'm going over every single day, how we're trading. How we're trading on the session. This here would have been a solid one. Now, yeah, if you had to use that as your TP, then it broke this one, you could have got back in, let it break this one, you could have got back in, let it break this one, you could have got back in, let it break this one, you could have got back in. You see? Now, combining Jay's strategy with the way that I trade, right? You could have taken this pretty much all the way down. Now, with Jay's strategy, yeah, you would have taken your few pips. You have your little tight stop loss and your 1 to 2. Fine, great, right? But combine his strategy with mine. Let's say you're trialing it out on the 15-minute, right? have these here on the 15-minute, okay? So the trade comes in, the signal comes in, take it down, let it break, take it down, or you get in, you pull down your stop slowly, okay? Let it break. Once it's broke, you pull your stop down to it, maybe, or just kind of 3/4 of the way down. Let it break, pull your stop, but then you would have probably got taken out at that point, right? So in some cases, get in, get out, get in, get out, yeah? Wait for it to come back down, break, get in, let it come down. Well, in this case, that came all the way down there. That must have been news or something. Look at the size of that. Okay? So you see how you can get more opportunity in the market by using Jay's strategy, but also combining it with how I trade. Does that make sense? Because you're going to get more opportunity. If someone's in a long-term trade, right? For example, yeah, if someone takes that one trade from here down to here, great. Absolutely phenomenal. You've got that amount of pips, right? But imagine we're getting in, it pulls up, right? We get out, we get back in. We're getting multiple opportunities on that one trade compared to their one trade opportunity. So we could get in for a long trade. You can look on the 15-minute, look at all of these, look at where they go. If we're on a downtrend, more than likely, remember guys, look back through history. Look on the 15-minute, go back. You see, right? The signal came in, came all the way down to here, right? All the way down to here, okay? So therefore, you could take a long position, but then take multiple short positions along the way. Then you are getting more for your trade, okay? Are those SNRs you have, they're exactly the same as the lines we put in, I'm assuming. That's an indicator. Yeah, but they pretty much correlate anyway. I just wanted a further confirmation. But they pretty much correlate with the lines I've been putting in. That's why I only have the lines on one chart, right? But you can always have this as well, right? And use it as well because look, you can see they're correlating. They're correlating. They're correlating. There are some that are extra, I would say, but most of them, they're correlating, right? Most of them are, okay? So if you want this as well, do let me know, and I can let you know what that is. Again, this trade here came down, pulled back, okay? So you can use the PB&J, the pullback, but I also think what that pullback thing is good for as well is for you to understand that if you got into a trade and then market goes and pulls back on you, you know why. So you're not thinking that, oh, okay, this trade's going the opposite way. No, what it's doing is it's going down, it's pulling up to get more volume, take people out in their stop losses, and then look, it drops. Then it goes back up to get more volume, pull people out in their stop losses, and then it drops. You see? When you see the pattern of what market is doing, on a downtrend, it's pulling down, it goes up to get you out, comes back down, pulls back up to get you out, comes back down, pulls back up to get you out, comes back down, pulls back up to get you out, comes back down, pulls back up to get you out, comes down, pulls back up to get you out, comes down, pulls back up to get you out, comes down. You see? You see that? Now, if you just understand that process and know that when we're on an uptrend, yeah, okay, cool, you're just going to pull back down to try and get me out, and then you're going to come back down. Well, screw you, market, because I'm onto you, right? Literally. That's all it is doing, right? That is exactly what it is doing. So, does that make sense, family? Does that make sense? Now, I mean, I could go over all these pullbacks, but what I really wanted to cover from that is like if you use the strategy that we are using on the sessions every single day, then A, it's going to help you to understand, oh, okay, it's just market pulling back to take us out, and it's going to come back down. It's going to rectify itself. Use the PBNJ, okay? Use it, but also use it alongside the strategy that we're using, and it will help you to get more out of the market, okay? And just know when you see little things like this, that's a bad signal. That's a bad signal, right? Why would that be a bad signal? I wouldn't want to get into something like that. If I'm seeing the way that market's gone down, pushed up, there's a sell signal there, yeah, and then it hits back up, that's going to make me nervous for this one here, right? So make sure you've got your confirmations as well. You wouldn't get into a buy when the market's underneath this. Look at it like a rebound. Yeah. That's like one of them slingshots. That's going to sling you down. That is going to slingshot you down to hell. Sorry, maybe shouldn't have used that word, but it's going to slingshot you down to the ground, right? Literally. That's what that is, right? So never, ever, ever get into a buy when we are underneath this. Please, I beg you, right? Never, ever get into a buy when we are underneath that, okay? We need to be trampling over the top of it, okay? Literally stamping on it. Now, when did the market open? 17 minutes ago. So does that explanation help? Does it make sense to you at all? Does it make sense to you at all? Look, guys. Look, family. Where did market open? Please tell me where market flung itself to. Wish I'd have kept that open. Can you remember what I said for market open? If I'm right in thinking, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Didn't quite go to 96, but what did it do? 98, 99, 98, touched 90, 98. So I was almost on the nose. Almost. Was that almost there? Was that almost right? Oh God, I love me. I love me. I do. You have to. I have to, right? But I'm sorry. Okay. But I'm gonna start listening to my own advice a little bit more. I'm gonna start listening to my own advice a little bit more. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But it was obvious that it was gonna come down here, and then it's probably gonna keep coming down. Why? Why will it keep coming down? Has it completely filled it? Do you think? Has it completely filled it yet? Plus, they've just crossed here as well. But has it completely filled it just yet? I don't think it has. I may be wrong, and it may go, you know what? See ya, I've just taken most of it. But tell me, family, has this session helped you? Has it helped you? Do you feel that you've got more value from it? Like, talk to me. Yeah? Okay, cool. Um, as long as you have, that's all I care about. Um, so yeah, let's um let's have a quick little look. I do think there's a huge possibility that we could be going down to this zone. We might after a pullback, maybe. Um, let's just see. We've just broke this hour here. So yeah, it is pushing back down to that zone, family. That was a very quick push down, but it's probably going to go down to 96, possibly, quite possibly, quite possibly, family. This is what I anticipated before. This is literally what I anticipated before. So let's see what it does. Now, I haven't got my lines up on here though. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Down here. Oh gosh. Here you go. Look, 96. I had it on here. I had it on here. So I wonder if it's going to take out 96. After a pullback though, maybe. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what we get. All right, no worries. Have a good evening. Right, are we breaking this hour? We're just about to come back through and break down this hour at 10. Just wait. We need to break it. We've broke it. But look, we got this area here, which you might get a pullback in, but we have broke it. You're probably going to get your pullback. Remember, if you've got something like this, you're 9 times out of 10, it's going to come in and it's going to pull back. Yeah? And do some nonsense. So do you feel, guys, that with these sessions that we're doing and, you trading, do you feel that it's giving you more confidence in your in the trades that you may take? Okay, I'm not sure where you are though, Peter, but have a good evening. Yeah, you feel like it's giving you more confidence in the trades? Yeah, and of course, it's not just going to be like, an instant thing, but the aim of the game is that it is, oh, okay, yeah, you are. Okay, okay, understood. Have a good evening. Um, yeah, perfect. That's the aim of the game, is that it's giving you guys more confidence in your trades, in the trades that you are taking. Okay? Um, that's good. And you're in the Netherlands, yes, yeah. You guys are, yeah, Romania is 2 hours, I think, as well. So it's an hour ahead of you as well, and 2 hours ahead of us. Yeah, see, it's piddling around because of this. You see? Piddling around because of this. So let's hope it gives us something before we end the call tonight. I'm learning daily and my confidence is definitely growing. I love that. We love that. That is good. Now, if you look at that, you see that candle engulf. Let's see if it stays. Now, now it's just kind of broke it again on there. It's going to come back into that box though, isn't it? Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Trading makes me sing. if it's gonna go through this, guys, once it does, it should, if it doesn't have to, it should, and if it breaks on the opposite side of it, then we're probably gonna go down, we could go down even further. But will it do that? See? Because it's a strong zone here. The force is strong with this area. Just give us something before we go to bed, please. See, you see, I don't want to be taking, look, everything is down, right? Apart from this. This is like weird why this is doing this. Go to the 3 minute on here. Caroline being Darth Vader. Well, Dan calls me Darth Trader. You know, Dan, he literally calls me the Darth Trader. Do you know why he calls me that? Not daft, Darth, right? Do you know why he calls me that? See, look. Cool, that was a flick up, wasn't it? That was a flicky up, wasn't it? What time zone is this on? 15. Put that down to the 3 or to the 1. I can hear my 11-year-old up. I don't know who he's talking to. I think this is the first time that we've literally gone from training into the markets, isn't it? I just want to see if it's going to give us anything. If not, then it don't matter. I just don't like this. Notice how I moved it. Here. Thank you, Sarah. Which one's the trading or the training? Trading or training? I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, no, I do like it too. Like I said, we're gonna like number one community out there. Number one community out there. No one will beat us on the live sessions. No one. Trust me, they ain't got it in them. Okay, is this the push back down now? I'm gonna break that 15 on the free in a minute. Is that on the free? I don't even know what time frame that is on now. Oh, on the 1 minute. Nope, we're not. Yeah, got that right. Look at that. See that? This is on the free. Okay, cool. 113. I'm gonna break it. And guys are trying to come in. Five oh nine. Okay, we broke the 15. Sorry, I weren't looking. I was looking on here. I was trying to work out where that was. Dang. So it's this here. This little zone here is this one. This little zone here. If we break this hour, ideally I would have said would have wanted to have said get in there. See how it bounced off the hour. So we really need it to break this zone here. Oh, it's trying to go down, guys. It's trying to push. If we break this, then there's a possibility of getting in for a scalp, but you would have to be quick. But it's trying to break it. It is trying to break it. Just seems to be struggling to. Oh, it's broke the hour. It's broke the hour, but it's just pulled back. Just let it. Guys, remember, if you get in for a scalp, you need to be really quick with your stop because the way these candles are moving, you need to be really quick with your stop. Because there's a lot of there's money here. You see how it keeps pulling into that zone and then pulling back? That's why I was saying you need to be really quick with your stop. Oh. Did anyone like attempt that then? Did you manage to catch some pips coming out here? I mean, it was a nice little. Anyone? Did anyone get in on the break of the hour line here? Caught a couple of quid. Anyone else? No? Okay. No problem. Okay. Well, see, it's coming back down, so it's just piddling around in this area, guys, though. But I have such a feeling that it's gonna come and break down here. It almost hit here before and then pulled back. You can see, look, how it's coming down. I mean, for me, it's too close to this. But maybe it just needs to kind of just need to wait because I really don't like how this is here. It's very in between. Yeah. What have we got here? This has called out a possible buy as well. This is on the 15-minute. So obviously it has to come up here first. Um, yeah, I don't know if I've got the patience to wait for it tonight. Tired. So, okay, family, back to like the studying and everything else. So tomorrow on the session, I think what it would be good to do if you guys want to do this is obviously we're going to continue with the kill shot. And I do feel that we need to go back through the lesson that we've just done. Of course, we need to go through the advanced a couple of times, even if we think that we know it, we still need to go back through it. But what I also want to do is, where is it? Um, I also want to, I want to go through this. I want to go through all of this. Well, not all of it on the one session because we'll be here forever. But I want to go through this. I want to go through a DeFi lesson as well because we are using DeFi also. So I don't want to miss out on doing some of this DeFi because what you'll find is it kind of correlates as well, yeah, with what we're doing with the kill shot. So I'm thinking tomorrow we do a kill shot lesson. We do the next kill shot lesson. Then we go and do a DeFi lesson. If you think this is a bit too much, then do say, but then also come and take a look at this as well. So tell me what you think because again, I want to do what is going to help you lot as well. So what do you think to that? We do another kill shot, then we go and do a DeFi, or do you think that's too, do you think that'd be too confusing? Or what do you think? Should be okay. Do it and see how it goes. Yeah, okay, cool. Just because I think that we're using the DeFi as well. Um, so I think it would be good to kind of implement that as well. 100%. Okay, cool. Has anyone found Manny's 4-part training? on DeFi yet? Has anyone found his 4-part training on DeFi? Because he said he was going to do a 4-part. No, not the 4-part one. Okay, he said he'd done it. He definitely said that he has done it. And this wasn't here before, was it? We didn't have this one before. To be fair, I haven't looked for it since the layout change. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we'll go through this then. And I'll find out I'll find out where the 4-part training is if this is supposed to be it, but I don't think this is, because I don't know if this is Manny. Is it Manny? Like, he's not even on here. Let me just have a quick little flick.
Each provide valuable market insight, but combined, they create the system that makes the DeFi strategy so powerful and so sought after. So next, we're going to break down the components so you know it, you understand it, and how to apply it. So let's begin by the 4 DeFi core components. Now, we went through this in our previous training, but just to give you a brush up, the 4 DeFi core components are built on the key levels, the prediction bands, the trend tracking candles, and also the scorecards.
Okay, so I think this might be it. So this is what we'll come in and have a look at as well. Okay, that's perfect. And then this one, I'm guessing, is the same as what we've been watching anyway, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So that's all we'll do, guys. We'll do that tomorrow. What does that say? Do we message you about the J trading thing, or will you send it on? Yeah, yeah. Everyone's gonna get that information. You'll all get that information tomorrow, which is just incredible. Yes, my lovely. I can do a call tomorrow, 11. If you could call me at 11, would that work for you? Yep. Okay, cool. Call me at 11. Yeah. So we'll go, yeah, I'll give you the information about the J automated trading system, which is a game changer, as well as everything else that we're currently using. This is going to help everybody as well. It's another stream. And then yeah, we've got our was everybody here on the call at 8 o'clock today? Everyone that's here right now, were you all on the call at 8? If there's anyone that wasn't, can you please say that you wasn't? Because if you wasn't, you missed out on a very special announcement. Was everybody on the call? If there was anyone that wasn't, put no, please. But did you get to hear what we were saying? Lovely. Miss Linda, did you get to hear what we were talking about? Kenneth, did you get to hear what we were talking about? No? Okay, I'll text you. No, the 8 o'clock call. The 8 o'clock call where I announced something. You didn't get on time. iPhone. Who is iPhone again? iPhone, please change your phone name. So I don't have to keep saying iPhone. Fion, change the name. You was in. Perfect. Right. Okay. For anyone that wasn't on the call, just message me and I'll just forward you a brief message. But basically, long story short, is we're the #1 community. We're the best community in the world. No one gets what we have here. And now we've just been able to add an extra copier from Jay Bonham where Jay can, whenever he's trading, it can duplicate. Basically, it's like another form of an automated trading. And we're going to be mass launching on Wednesday. So yeah, I want, like, just think that there is somebody there out there that this community will help. Think about what it's doing for you and what it can do for others. So that's kind of like what the call was, the basic gist of the call. Yeah, 8 o'clock UK time it will be. And yeah, so we're exclusive to our community. We're getting access to a copier where Jay Bonham will be trading. Whenever he trades, we'll be able to have them trades as well. So we're not missing out on Jay's trades. Okay. Basically, long story short, that is that. So I will see you guys in tomorrow. For obviously our trading sessions and then our training session. If anybody does need information about it, I didn't record it. Unfortunately, I did forget to. I hold my hands up to that. But if you, yeah, I will be sharing information anyway. And yeah, we'll get everyone connected to Jay Bonham's copier. What an amazing, amazing addition to what we already have here. All right, guys. So I will see you guys in the community tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. Good night, good night, good night.